All right. Welcome back to Think and Grow Wealth. We're hanging out here with our guest, Brady Setzer, local mortgage loan officer. Is that right?
Indeed. Yep.
So tell me a little bit about who are you? Who is Brady Setzer?
Well, the professional Brady Setzer is a loan officer who does residential home loans, has done it for about 20 years. I've helped over 2,000 clients refinance or purchase their dream home. I'm somebody who believes in kind of being more of a facilitator than like a high pressure salesman. Mm-hmm. I typically start off my loan transactions with just a light conversation, just to kind of get an idea, get a feel for what my clients are doing. I'm just not somebody who enjoys like being hard sold, so I just always tried to implement that same mentality into my process. I mean, if somebody doesn't like buying a used car, I don't want to make them feel like they're buying a used car.
Correct.
So I really try to get in there and just have a light conversation initially, and then just kind of drill down from there. So it really, like I said, more of a facilitator than a salesman. And I really just enjoy kind of helping people out. I mean, it's the American dream really that we're doing here for people. So when I can do that effectively, and when we get to start to finish, it's really a rewarding process for me. Yeah.
Why are you so passionate about this industry?
Like I said just now, really helping people achieve the American dream. I really enjoy getting to know my clients. I enjoy being kind of a positive reference for loan officers in the industry. There can be a lot of negative connotations over the years that have been applied, especially the fact that a lot of them crashed the economy in about 2007.
No, that wasn't really their fault, though. That was the bigger bank. I mean,
true.
These guys were doing what they had to do. They were doing their jobs.
Right. The banks provided the products, and some loan officers tended to abuse those products, in my opinion. I've been doing it for 20 years, so I was kind of doing it before that, during it, and afterwards.
You can't blame a global economy crash on loan officers.
No.
You can't.
No.
I mean, a lot of these loan officers, unfortunately, don't even own homes.
Right. I remember loan officers not even understanding the products that they were selling at that point. I think it honestly just got too complex for the economy in general. I mean, that's just the way I see it. The algorithms that were being run and the Wall Street kind of investment models that were being put forth were just so complex that you had companies like Iceland, investing in these big blocks of real estate that they didn't even understand how they were working. And ultimately, we just got ahead of ourselves as a culture.
A lot of greedy people.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, human nature. I mean, you really can't blame people for being people in a way. If you put the stake out there, they're going to go out and try to get it.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing is I just saw an analogy yesterday from it's a Chinese almost metaphor, and it says that if you offer monkeys the option of bananas or money, they're going to take the bananas because they don't understand what the money can buy, right?
Right.
And the same thing goes with most people is if you offer them a job or entrepreneurship, well, entrepreneurship is going to make them rich,
right?
But they're going to take the job.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with these loan officers. You offer them a product that's easy to sell, they're going to sell the easy product.
Right. Yeah,
It's as simple as
the path
that.
of least resistance.
Exactly.
I think it's very instinctual.
What advice do you have for somebody who's waiting to buy? Wanting to buy. Let's throw the caveat that wanting to buy, but then still waiting to do it.
I think that is one of the biggest mistakes that people make is that they wait until they're actually like they just saw the house that they want listed somewhere or a sign out in front.
Ooh, don't bump the mics.
Yeah, sorry about that. They see the house that they want. Obviously, that triggers them. They then want to jump in, find a realtor, write a contract, and just kind of jump into it at that point. They wait until it's right in front of them. So I think the biggest mistake people do is not preparing in advance, talking to someone like myself, asking the questions that need to be asked, or actually having the questions that need to be asked by a professional who understands which questions are correct to ask. A lot of people have these preconceptions of what it takes to buy a home, maybe from what they've seen or heard. Mm-hmm. The reality is there's really only a few things that really go into qualifying you for a home loan. It's a lot simpler than it sounds or has been made to look to some people. Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest thing is waiting too long. So, I mean, ultimately, the minute you start thinking about it, if you can actually contact somebody to ask you the right questions and kind of start directing you in the right way, you can actually maybe fix your credit in the interim while you're still looking. You can maybe not do some things with your bank accounts that you would normally do prior to purchasing. It just can like prevent you from making some mistakes and also kind of help you get further down the road to being in that position, to qualifying. And really, it's just a couple of questions. I think a lot of people think that the minute that they call a loan officer or call a bank, it's going to be this high pressure, nonstop. When are you going to buy? What are you doing? Like, let me get a hold of your credit report and let me get all your information. And it's a very daunting task in people's mind. I try to treat it just like a conversation. It's a phone conversation where I take notes. I ask the questions that need to be asked, and we just kind of discuss things. And maybe a lot of times I can figure that out from just that conversation. Maybe, hey, this is a done deal, no problem, you're good. Or, okay, these are the areas of weaknesses that we kind of need to work on. And then we can start to flesh that out. And so I basically take it from that initial conversation, and I just start to kind of like drill down and kind of hone in on the target from there. So sometimes it could take, it could be anywhere from like that day, you're good to go, or it could take a year, sometimes even 2 years to get beyond some things.
Imagine going and shopping for that dream home, and you find the home that you've always wanted, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is everything I've always dreamt of, and you're not qualified to buy it.
Right. Yeah.
What if your FICO isn't quite where it needs to be? Or what if you've got a loan in default and you can't afford to pay that?
It definitely, not everybody knows what their credit looks like. We have these things like Credit Karma and freecreditreport.com that give you a rough idea. The most common things people tell me is, I just bought a car, I qualified for a car, I should be able to qualify for a house, right? The problem is that FICO scores are basically derived differently for different types of credit. So people don't know that. You can
buy a car with zero out of pocket with a 600 FICO. You're not buying a house with a 600 FICO.
Technically, you can. Well, it's just a lot more difficult.
FHA,
but yeah,
FHA.
Technically, you can, but you
can go down to 580, but that's going to be a difficult loan.
Yeah, you're going to pay for it in interest rate. You basically want to get your score as high as possible so you can qualify for the best loan.
Correct.
I think also the misconception is people don't realize how important income is nowadays. Back in kind of the mid 2000s, when things were kind of going fast and quick, we had a lot of stated income loan programs. We had no doc loans. And that may or may not be the reason why some of the economy collapsed.
Some of that stuff is coming back.
It's all part and parcel. It is. We do have some bank statement loans now. We don't have a lot of true no doc loans or stated income loans, which I think for now is a good thing. But they will come back eventually once the desire is there for the investors to open those up. But
they actually just MSNBC just announced last week actually that a lender had just now started offering no job, no income, no asset again, and the line was out the door and around the corner.
Okay. Yeah.
So there is a bank doing it.
Right.
They'll be the first bank to fail if the market shifts.
And it'll be a high interest rate guaranteed.
Oh,
and it'll probably have a requirement for a big down payment, kind of more closer to like a hard money loan.
I was going to say, exactly.
We've had those forever. They're just like 10% and a lot of points. And, they're not the loan you're looking for the most part. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And here's my advice. I'm an old loan officer. That's what I did before I did radio.
Right.
So my advice is this. If you're not qualified to buy a home, don't buy a home. Get qualified. Get your finances in order.
Right.
Because the last thing you want to do is put your family into a home and then turn around and lose everything. Get your finances in order.
Right.
Get your FICO where it needs to be and your bills where they need to be and your debt to income where they need to be.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Brady Setzer is going to help you with all of those things. And then from that point, once you've got all of your ducks in a row, then you can start taking those ducks to start marching into a home and start looking for the right home. And I can tell you right now, the perfect home that you find today, once you're qualified, there's going to be another perfect home, if not a more perfect home for you. There's plenty of inventory.
There is a misconception that people feel like they see that one house and they get their heart set on it, and they just, if something doesn't happen right then, they get into that urgent mindset. They feel like it's okay. That's the only house they're ever going to love. Well, the reality is we're in California. I just kind of treat it very, very matter of fact and say there's a lot of boxes around California to store your stuff in. Essentially, when it comes down to it, there's a lot of those out there, and it may not be today, and it may not be this one, but if you're way better off taking your time, bringing a little patience to the table, and then just waiting for the right opportunity. I definitely deal with clients who get their hearts. They get real dejected and they get their hearts broken when that one property doesn't come through. And then me and the agent have stayed with them. Maybe they missed out on a couple more along the way, but the one that they ended up with, they're extremely happy with. I check in with them, on an annual basis. They're consistently still very happy with the property, and they always say to me, we're glad we waited. We're glad we found this one house. So it's just not an immediate satisfaction type of a deal. Sometimes it can be, but ultimately you have to kind of bring some patience to the table.
And that's why you've been doing this for 20 plus years. Simple as that. All right, folks, if you're thinking about buying a home, or if you want to refinance, maybe you need a little bit of cash out, take care of some of those bills, do some fun things, finally pay off that college loan that you were trying to do. Whatever the case is, give Brady Setzer a call, 916-813-3705, 916-813-3705, or visit BradyClosesLoans.com. Again, BradyClosesLoans.com. Anything you want to add?
That's it, man. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys.
Absolutely. 916-813-3705. We're going to go to a break. We're going to come back. We'll be right back.
Thank you.